Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome for a Monday edition of Halftime, the last day of August. First day of the week, last day of the month. And got a lot going on. Had a big weekend. SmackDown's over there. Matty T, I'm Phil. 877-377-6963, the number to get with us. With you for the next couple of hours. We had to change up our guests for a usual Monday. Our man, Connor O'Gara, is traveling right now. So we're bringing on, in about 30 minutes, his Saturday Down South podcast partner, Chris Marler. Lots going on in the SEC, especially what's going on over there in Baton Rouge.
Lots of news in Baton Rouge today.
More LSU players decide to opt out. Auburn getting back to practice after missing a few due to COVID reasons. So we'll get into some of that with Chris Marler, and we will bring on a new guest in hour number 2. Kind of new to the Arkansas beat, now covering at hogsports.com, Curtis Wilkerson. Who's over there with Danny and Trey and the guys over at Hog Sports. We'll have him in the second hour, plus your calls and texts. I guess I could start with a prediction that was incorrect, SmackDown. And at the same time, I should be happy that I didn't break any bones or anything. I didn't break any bones. I didn't break any belongings, and did not break the loving relationship between father and son, as we moved all of my belongings from Little Rock up to Fayetteville over the weekend. So,
well, that's a good weekend right there. You didn't break anything. You didn't break any hearts. You didn't break any bones.
That's right. Pretty successful.
Did you have to rent a U-Haul?
No, we actually got. It was a different company, but they don't advertise with us. So
it wasn't College Hunks,
was it? I won't throw it out there. No, we did the moving ourselves. I put that 73-year-old man, my father, to work. I did most of the heavy lifting, though, and it was hot. I mean, there was about a 7 or 8 degree difference between Northwest Arkansas and Central Arkansas.
It felt really muggy
stuff
this weekend.
In Little Rock on Saturday morning, man. It was like 95 degrees, and I'm not kidding. I sweat through 3 shirts on Saturday just moving stuff, which I guess says a little more about my sweating problems than it does about the heat.
Now, just imagine you two, because you two are normal-sized men. Then you look at a guy like me. You went through 3 T-shirts. How many T-shirts you think I would have went through?
Well, maybe that's a good point. You know, part of it also might be the amount of body hair you got going on. You might be the larger of the two of us, but I may have a little more fuzziness.
That's
so. But now I'm finally getting settled in, feeling good, moving stuff around the apartment, and this is like my first day truly out of Little Rock in 19 and a half years. So really, it's like the rest of my life is starting today.
As you were driving away, did you yell out the window, "Good riddance, losers"?
No, I mean, I'll leave Little Rock with mostly good memories. Mostly good.
That's the key word in that statement. Mostly good memories.
Though I think it's important for me to at least continue to have the same attitude as I've had about the whole Central Arkansas versus Northwest Arkansas thing. And as I remain up here in Northwest Arkansas as a citizen of this area now, I feel like I'll have to defend the Little Rock region a little bit. So I never felt unsafe in the town. I never felt like I needed to be strapped walking around. I was never really the victim of made. So
yeah, fortunately, I also made it my entire life in Central Arkansas and was never the victim of a violent crime.
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty safe in Little Rock.
But did you portray in any of those crimes?
I didn't.
We're not going to talk about that?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, never convicted.
This is where life is. This is where the Razorbacks play. This is where our show airs. And so this is where I'm going to live. It makes perfect sense. And let's see, what can we get into? Today is Major League Baseball trading deadline, and the first trade of the day has been made. You got to go up until midnight. The Padres are making huge moves right now. What they made, this is the fourth different team that San Diego is dealing with in the last, I think, a little more than 24 hours. They made 3 trades yesterday, getting 6 players, dealing 9, and now it traded Mike Clevinger, Cleveland's top starting pitcher up until this year. Shane Bieber's pretty much taken that over. Clevinger's been their guy for a couple years in a row. Sends him over to San Diego. Padres really boosting not just the pitching. I mean, they're boosting everything. They got a catcher. They got a first baseman. They got a couple of arms. Relief starting as well. San Diego making a real move as they start to pull away. So that's, I would imagine that sounds like it could be the biggest deal of the day, though there's certainly some others that could be made. You got players like Xander Bogaerts, J.D. Martinez off the Red Sox that could be traded. The Angels, who traded their catcher Jason Castro to the Padres, could be trading their most effective starting pitcher this season, Tulsa native Dylan Bundy, could be headed elsewhere. Joey Gallo, Kyle Sager, amongst many others that could be traded as you go up to the deadline, midnight Eastern time tonight. And can't do any of those waiver deals any longer. So definitely will. Hey, you might want to have that breaking news button ready to go at some point, SmackDown, because today's one of those days.
Oh, we got it ready. We got it loaded up, ready to go. I do got a question I want to ask you. You two can probably tell me more. So you do the tweet rundown every day that you send it out on that Hit That Line AR. Explain to me what this national holiday is that you have chosen, or the national what day today is.
Now, I was going to save this to the end, but I'm
okay.
Okay. Diatomaceous Earth Day.
Oh, I've used that stuff to kill fleas on my dog before.
Right. This is a substance that is terrific for gardening, for keeping away pests. And the only reason I put it out there, we have a website I check that it'll show you all of the hashtag holidays that are happening each day. And there's at least 1 or 2 every single day. Today there's 4. And
that's a really odd one.
I only chose Diatomaceous Earth Day because I just subscribed to a cat litter service. I'm getting a cat tomorrow.
No, we didn't know that.
I subscribed to a cat litter service.
I didn't know you like cats.
We were talking about this with Clay Henry last week.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
The cat litter is made of diatomaceous earth. So for me, it's just, I'd never heard of this stuff until 3 days ago, and I subscribed to the service. Now all of a sudden, it's in my life.
It's great
and all of a sudden, there's a national day dedicated to this stuff.
It's all meant to be, Phil. It's all meant to be for you.
So there's your answer. Do you wish you didn't ask that question now?
No, of course not. No, there's never a stupid question. You got to learn. You got to learn something every day.
I am getting a cat. Is that okay?
What's its name?
KK. She's 5 years old. I'm rescuing her.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like out of a tree or something?
Shut up.
From death, essentially, is what she
Thanks,
would have been
Smackdown.
certainly killed. Yeah. Yeah. Some of them don't always hit, Matty T. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Or you never
hit.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
I miss a lot.
So
though.
yeah. Is it okay? Is that for everybody out there? Is it okay if a guy owns a cat?
For your schedule,
I would get a dog, but I travel too much to keep a dog around. But is it okay?
At least a cat can
Are
handle
single
itself.
men allowed to have cats? I'm not the first person to do this, nor is this the first time I've had a cat as a single man.
How long ago was it when we talked about the dating aspect of having a dog versus a cat? Was that was a month or 2 ago when we talked about that, wasn't it? Like dogs.
That it's like a big turn on when a guy in his profile picture is holding like a cat,
right?
And you can't see where the rest of his hand is.
Exactly.
In the picture.
Yeah, something like that.
Look, guys, I have put this out there with you before. I think I said this last weekend. I don't care about any of the dating stuff right now. That is like the very last thing on my mind. There is no reason for me to ruin anybody's life out there. So I'm going to get to know this cat. This cat and I are going to become a bonded pair. That's going to be my relationship. Okay?
Phil's
going to be very
daddy.
good friends. That's right. We're going to be very good friends. I think it's just fine. I think it's just fine for a guy to have a cat.
Now you'll get
Is it?
Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
877-377-6963. Let me know. Yeah, Zach says it's never okay.
Well, it's fixing it to the point where we're going to be celebrating National Cat Dad's Day.
No. No, I'll
get you a
stay
card.
consistent with this. Gonna have to stay consistent with this. There will be a National Cat Father's Holiday that you can send me a card for. Okay.
Happy Father's Day, Fur Daddy.
Yes, there you go.
Fur Daddy.
That'll work. Am I allowed to have one? Okay. Porter's got one. Jason wants me to rename the cat. 5 years into life, is it okay? Is it nice to rename an animal? Not like animal. Does a cat really know what its name is anyway? Yeah, more intimidating name. Killer.
Killer Kowalski.
White cat. Yeah, works perfectly for me. Chandler says he's looking for a cat. You guys are right down my alley. I appreciate that. Very well done. You're making me feel really good about myself. 877-377-6963. Keep the good feelings coming. We'll be back after the break and continue talking SEC sports. The last one to leave the locker room in LSU. Close the door. Right back.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You know, at some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years it has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Summer's winding down, so Breeden RV is cranking up the 2020 blowout sale. New inventory is arriving daily, and Breeden RV needs to make room for new models like Keystone, Forest River, Coachman, and many more. Get great deals like this 25-foot Coachman that was $26,700, but the blowout price is only $18,900 or $185 a month. Our exclusive maintenance for life comes with everything new, and we're here to handle all your parts and service needs. Visit us at BreedenRV.com and then come get your best deal during the 2020 blowout sale at Breeden RV. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hi. Furniture August Back to School Sale. We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Bro Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Future. So if you're hiring, it means finding the right people is more critical than ever before. Indeed will help you find the quality candidates you need, while only paying for what you need. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast when you post your first job at Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Baseline drive. Sills feeds Joe left corner. Step back. 3 on the way from Isaiah. Perfect. Nothing but the bottom for Joe. And the Hawks are up 45-28.
I've been saying he's the best shooter in the country.
So is War Pig an acceptable name for a cat to rename? Jason in Frankfurt sends it in, says, KK doesn't work, War Pig. If you're going to be a real Razorback supporter, can you go in that direction?
Of course you can. And by chance, too, when your cat starts making its debut here on Halftime, you've got the War Pig song that you can make its entrance to.
This cat will never be on the radio.
You're going to keep it out of showbiz?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't want to ruin it.
You don't want it to, try to emancipate itself.
God almighty.
So as we went into the last break, the question is, who's the next one to leave LSU, or is it done by now? You have a couple of players that are big-time producers that opted out in the past couple of days. At least LSU has about a month to prepare without Jamar Chase. But did you see that Memphis All-American running back Kenneth Gainwell has opted out too? That's with 6 days before the season starts. They open the season against Arkansas State. Gainwell's a big-time guy as well. Remember last year he had the 200 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards against Tulane. Hadn't been a player do that in college football in 23 years. But apparently had 4 members of his family contract the virus and pass away, including an uncle who was buried over the weekend. So I'd imagine that was sitting on Mr. Gainwell's young mind pretty heavily for the past few weeks. And now with 6 days before the opening game for Memphis, a preseason All-American is opting out. Like for Jamar Chase, this is huge, obviously. Chase might have been a front runner for the Heisman, might have been the best player in college football. Of course, it all depended on how good Miles Brennan was getting in the football. But at least LSU has a month to prepare. If you're Memphis, goodness gracious, you've been building your offense around this running back, this sophomore running back, for the entire offseason, and now he's opted out. And again, I don't say that with any criticism towards Kenneth Gainwell at all. When you've had 4 family members die from this virus, and you just buried your uncle a handful of days ago, I think you can understand the decision. For Chase, this is a matter of just getting ready for the NFL draft, I guess. Because I didn't find anything out about family members that have been affected by this. But, but look at this too, SmackDown. Like LSU, we already knew LSU had lost a lot. Like before Jamar Chase had left, they'd lost 5 players to the NFL, to the first round of the NFL draft. Defensive coordinator, passing game coordinator, starting tight end. And now what they've lost isn't just their top receiver, but maybe the anchor to that offense overall, which is a little difficult to say about a wide receiver. But with all the questions we have about how good Miles Brennan really is, and I know I've forgotten about Clyde Edwards-Helaire also leaving for Kansas City as a first-round pick. Wouldn't you have thought that with all the questions around this LSU offense, to have Jamar Chase there would have been the steadying force? Now they don't have that.
You really thought it would be. I mean, that was the one thing that they had coming back that you could kind of fall back on if you're an LSU fan, because I think if you polled everybody, the chances of LSU being a conference champion, heading into the college football playoff, or maybe even a national champ was probably slim to none, just based off of everything that they lost. You throw him into the mix now, I mean, good Lord. I mean, they're 3rd or 4th, maybe the 5th best team in the SEC. In the SEC West, I'll say. They've already lost a lot. That was the one steady factor that you just talked about, but now you lose him? Well, that's a tough job for Ed Orgeron.
Remember, LSU right now can't even put enough offensive linemen together for a full practice.
Yeah.
Because of certain players testing positive and contact tracing, which is leading to a couple of weeks shutdown for some of these players. This is a different discussion. A player opting out and most of the offensive line quarantining, but that's the issue that can lead to major problems during the football season, the contact tracing. And a team, I mean, you could say, look, you got first-teamers, second-teamers, third-teamers. But if you only have 4 offensive linemen healthy, or I don't know if the word healthy is proper, but dressed, that are available, do you have a football team then? No, you don't. You don't play if you only have 4 offensive linemen. What are you going to do? Put, the rest of your tight ends on the line? Are you going to switch third-string defensive linemen to an offensive line? It doesn't work that way. This is how games get canceled. But again, that's a different conversation. What we're more focusing on here is everything that LSU has lost. And this was some good research done by 24/7 Sports. They look back at the last 15 national champions. LSU has lost more starters than any of the previous 15 now. They've dropped 16 players from LSU's starting lineup last year. And that doesn't even count Dave Aranda, Joe Brady, various other assistant coaches. The only teams that lost anything close to that were 2006 Florida. They went 9-4, losing 14 starters. And 2011 Auburn went 8-5, losing 15 starters, including Cam Newton. And even the last 4 years, you've had teams lose at least 10 starters off the national championship team, and they went back to the national championship playoffs. Bama and Clemson, of course, have been those teams. It would be a huge surprise now. Huge surprise, considering also that LSU is playing the 10-game SEC schedule. If they're able to do – look, I mean, nobody's going – I don't imagine anyone's going undefeated in the SEC this year. You look at LSU right now, this could very well be a 4 or 5 loss team.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I also think, too, while, yes, they've lost 16 starters heading into this year, and now you throw in Jamar Chase into that mix as well, LSU can recruit, though. And they've got some beef and some men ready to take up the slack. Maybe not necessarily on the offensive line, like you just mentioned, that they can't do a full practice, but in those skill positions where they lost so much talent. And one play of the ball, we genuinely don't know, but when you look at just do the eye test and you got the evidence to back it up, when you lose more than, Alabama lost 12 players one year, went 14-1, but when you start losing plus 12 like that, the records don't suffice that. I mean, like you just said, Florida lost 14, went 9-4. Auburn lost 15, went 8-5. This is probably an 8-win team this year, just based off talent alone, and then you factor in, or maybe not 8-5.
Yeah, right. The usual numbers don't add up anymore.
Did a brain fart, but that all-SEC schedule, factoring in with losing so much talent, it's not going to result in the win column for LSU. So I don't know. Maybe there's a chance because to this point, when you bring an Arkansas spin to it, hadn't been a lot of noise as far as players having to sit out. It's relatively, as far as we know, has been full practices. Nobody's had to sit out. You've only lost one coach due to a high health risk or pre-existing condition. I don't remember the exact wording of that, but I'm not saying at all that Arkansas's chances of beating LSU is drastically higher. But when you just look at it from top to bottom, that's a chance you could sneak up on LSU this year.
Thaddeus Moss gone, Justin Jefferson gone, Clyde Edwards-Helaire gone. Those were the 3 leading receivers for LSU last year. Terrace Marshall returning 46 catches, 671 yards, and 13 touchdowns. So, I mean, they still have a guy that got a lot of playing time last year, was part of that 3-headed monster of those great wide receivers. He just wasn't the focus of it. It was Jefferson and Chase. So, again, they have a month to prepare for this. And it's not necessarily a bad thing for LSU wherever Jamar Chase goes in the draft this next year. He's a top 5 pick. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Absolutely. And I heard a great point made earlier today. Cole Kubelik, who's we know him from ESPN. He hosts on Jocks Radio in Birmingham, and he makes the point that schools like LSU, like Georgia, like Alabama, Clemson, they're recruiting in 3-year cycles. So when a guy leaves early, they were expecting it. So those sort of programs, they are used to this kind of, and this is a little more shotgun than usual because there's the 3 weeks now before the first game. But these are the programs that have been so good at plug in somebody to a spot because you know you got a talented roster nonetheless. But again, will it matter who's on the outside for LSU catching passes if there's only 4 offensive linemen that are ready to go? So lucky for LSU that this COVID shutdown for at least their offensive line happened when it did. But look, this is the sort of thing that cannot happen during the football season. Otherwise, teams may have to forfeit or postpone not just 1, but even 2 games potentially. So get that stuff out of the way right now. 877-377-6963 is the number to get on halftime today. And after the break, we are joined by Chris Marler, who is co-host of the SDS Pod on Saturday Down South with our friend Connor O'Gara, and we'll be talking SEC football with Chris Marler next.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Changing your oil. We've got what you need. Regular changes are the best way to keep your engine running smooth. We'll help you find the right oil for your make and model and everything to help you finish the job right, like drain pans, filters, and funnels. And we've got more ways to get it all fast, like our next day delivery and our free same-day pickup, in-store or curbside. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Goodyear knows why we all love basketball. It's the sound of the buzzer, the roar of the crowd, the swish of the net. It's the spin on the ball as it's released, the squeaking sneakers before an inbound pass, the timeout that gives us perspective on the moment. We love basketball because we love movement. And now that it's back, we're asking you, the fans, what moves you? Goodyear, more driven.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Have you had someone back out of a contract and you don't know what to do? Or maybe you have a problem with your boss. It may be time to sit down with a lawyer and discuss your options. The attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners are ready to give advice on your next step. Kevin Hickey Law Partners are experienced in all types of lawsuits. If you have a dispute that may involve going to court, don't just hire any lawyer. Contact Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Give them a call at 479-434-2014 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, now open Tuesday through Saturday. Still serving all the 906 specialty items, with new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, dine in or carry out, wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails and cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels more like a destination. Following all of the state guidelines and a state-of-the-art air filtration system for your safety. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open Tuesday through Saturday at 4 p.m.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization. 800-876-5245. 800-876-5245. 800-876-5245. That's 800-876-5245.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
This is ESPN 95.3. Want more halftime? Make sure to listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering. Give them a call at 479-308-9123. The Halftime Pod is available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
12:30 here across our network. Cloudy conditions all across Arkansas. And welcome back on to halftime. Let's go to the phones and bring in on Chris Marler. He is pinch hitting for our buddy Connor O'Gara, who is, of course, our usual Monday afternoon guest. Chris joins on the Saturday Down South podcast, the SDS podcast, with Connor. So I guess he's exactly the guy to pinch hit for him. Chris, thanks for coming on today, man. What are you up to?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's good to talk with you guys. I am not up to much. I had a physical this morning where I had to weigh myself, so not a strong start to my Monday, I'll be honest.
Yeah, weighing on a Monday is never a good thing. But hey, at least you're somewhat healthy, I guess, right?
Exactly. That was the good news.
What do we make of this situation at LSU? They got two problems right now. One, they can't put together enough linemen for a practice. Lucky for them, this is happening when it's happened. Two, who the heck is left from last year, including the coaching staff? Like this has the possibility for LSU of being, I don't know if disastrous is the word for this upcoming season, but with the departure of Jamar Chase, he was to me going to be the anchor of this LSU offense, which is so rare to say for a wide receiver. What do you think him leaving or opting out does for LSU?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Obviously, I was, one of many that was surprised this weekend to learn that he was going to opt out. I think it makes sense for that young man because everywhere you look, he's going to be a projected top 5 pick. Should easily be a first-round pick. But talking about potentially getting top 5 money, what else does he really have to gain from playing this year? The bigger question for me is, the timing of it is the only reason I would say it'd be worrisome. They've already started practice. He's a guy that I know. I think got old takes exposed with the hashtag we want to play, and then a couple weeks later, obviously opting out. And you don't blame him for it, but you wonder, is it because of what he saw the first couple weeks of practice? Is it because he realized that this conference only slate it was going to be a lot more difficult? He was going to be facing double teams, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's a disaster scenario for LSU. I think me and Connor both we're probably on the forefront, I would think, of the people that didn't think Coach O should have even ever been on the hot seat 2 years ago. And thankfully, with how good those teams have been over the past 2 seasons, that made us look smarter than we probably are. I don't think that even before the Jamar Chase thing, that LSU fans, if they're being honest with themselves, would really be looking at the season and thinking, there's no way we can't take a step back. You look at that on a surface level, you win 15 games, you have 14 players drafted in the NFL draft, 5 in the first round. But for me, it's especially on offense, the quarterback at LSU has been the kind of the weak link of that offense or team over the past, roughly decade. And you look at where they ranked in the SEC in touchdown passes from a quarterback. Before Joe Burrow, they were last or second to last for around 7 or 8 straight years before last season. And I think losing that kind of talent, not just where he was able to put up a lot of points in that offense, but be a generational type talent on top of losing your 2 coordinators, that's hard to replace. So I think they were already going to have a rebuilding year, and I think it's just got a lot more difficult by losing your best player on offense.
Yeah, I don't know there's any doubt. And if you're Chase too, and again, he already, like you're saying, is cemented where he's going to be in the draft. But you got to worry, especially when you're on a team that only has the 4 linemen that are dressing for practice, and think, what if this happens during the season? What if they're at least able to put together some sort of an offensive line, but they're down to third teamers? If I was a quarterback for any college football team, I would be very nervous, just in the thought that half my offensive line could be out of a game or 2 weeks because of contact tracing, and then I'm left with third teamers, and I know I'm going to spend a lot of time on my back.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And I think when you look at going into this season with there's so much uncertainty and so much unknown, and you don't want to predict anything like that, but it would be kind of almost ignorant of us to not think that at some point something like that could happen. And we've obviously already seen it in this early round of practicing with LSU, and I think there's definitely cause for concern, but it did happen at a good time for them. And I think it's a lesson to be learned for teams everywhere and players everywhere this season because, listen, like I played college baseball at a very low-level D2 place, and I definitely don't know as much about being a premier college athlete like these Division I and premier SEC teams and stuff like that. But the thing you'll always hear on a team is accountability, responsibility, doing what's best for the rest of the team and putting yourself behind that. And I think you're going to have to see that more than ever this season when you talk about accountability and responsibility and keeping yourself safe, not doing anything, extracurricular like wives and going out into parties. All of those things could really derail a team's, whether it be a championship run or just a run to having a successful full season if kids aren't careful and not taking the proper precautions.
Speaking of Chris Marler here on Halftime, Chris, when you look at Arkansas's schedule, and I think a lot of Razorback fans, I think a lot of media members in the SEC would probably agree that the quote-unquote most winnable games for Arkansas would be the two M schools. You got Mississippi State, Missouri, and Ole Miss. Aside from those three, is there any other teams on the Arkansas schedule that you think Arkansas could maybe sneak up on or put a good scare into them this year?
Yeah, I think when you look at the schedule, the way it sets up, that A&M game, it seems like every single year Arkansas A&M is a close game. And, I think one of the big problems Arkansas has had over the past couple of years, and you point to almost the ineptitude on a quarterback they had, especially last season, and how bad Chad Morris truly was. But that defense, giving up almost over 5 touchdowns a game on average for the past 3 seasons and finishing last or second to last in the conference, I think that's what the big issue is. I think, coming into this season, I'm not as worried as much about the offense and if they're going to be able to put up points. But being able to stop teams from putting up points is where I think their biggest room for growth is. And you look at that A&M game, they have an off week before they play Texas A&M. And again, it seems like it's always a close game. I know A&M does as well, but I really think that's a place they could jump up and scare some folks because they will be overlooked going into that game, in my opinion. The other one I would say, and you mentioned it, Ole Miss. Ole Miss plays Bama the week before. Talk about Lane Kiffin, coming back to face his former coach that he doesn't really, I wouldn't say get along with, but definitely doesn't see eye to eye. That game in Oxford the week before could be a little bit of a trap game the following week, playing Arkansas.
One of your colleagues over at Saturday Down South brought up an article a couple weeks ago that was Chandler Vessels talking about Felipe Franks or Rakeem Boyd and who is more critical for Arkansas finding success this year. We've seen what Rakeem Boyd can do in an abysmal Chad Morris offense during his time at Arkansas. So I feel like he might be the easy answer, but I'll ask you, for Arkansas to find success this season, is it another successful Rakeem Boyd season, or do you think it's Felipe Franks kind of coming off the injury and performing well for Arkansas? Who's more important for Arkansas' success this year?
Well, it's tough it's hard to put that into to give an answer just based on like who's more important, because I love Rakeem Boyd, man. Rakeem Boyd has been so much fun and such a bright spot for that team and that program in the past couple of years. But like you said, if he was able to do that in the Chad Morris offense in the past couple of seasons and what they have returning, especially in the offensive line, which I love that, I think they have a little bit more experience up front, and I think Rakeem Boyd, regardless, is going to get his yards. If he was able to get them last year, he's going to be able to get them this year. Felipe Franks is my answer, and that's because we saw just how bad the quarterback play was last year for Arkansas. It was tough to watch at times, and like I said, several times it just kind of seemed inept back there, and it didn't help that Chad Morris was changing in and out. It was like Chad Morris is like me trying to figure out where I want to go to dinner on Saturday night with my fiance. Just constantly changes his mind, doesn't seem to ever have an answer. Made zero sense to me. I think Frank, I was really high on this young receiving core last year, and we talk a lot about Traylon Burks. Trey Knox is a kid that I think is going to have a breakout season and potentially be one of the top-tier receivers in this conference. And that's saying a lot because this is a conference that's loaded at that position. I really think that's a guy, especially with his size and just physicality, he could really be a difference maker for this team. Franks has got to limit the mistakes that we saw him kind of get into from time to time at Florida. I think if he can just be consistent, limit the turnovers, they will have a really, really good offense.
I feel like this is an easy question, but just I have to ask you, how great was it this weekend to see college football? I mean, you had a lot of live high school football, particularly here in Arkansas. Bentonville High School was on ESPN. You saw different high school games being broadcasted here in Arkansas, but to see a college football game, and it's a little closer to our homes just because it was UCA, Central Arkansas, but in your mind, just it was great to see college football back on this weekend.
Well, first off, I want to give a shout-out to UCA and that entire coaching staff for covering the spread. That was a big, big win for me to start the season. That was great.
Yes.
Second off, it really was great, man. It was awesome. I was sitting here, Saturday afternoon. I live in Atlanta, and I'll admit it. I teared up just at the mere fact that college football came back and was on TV, because 2020 has been the worst. It's just been the absolute worst for so many reasons. And to be able to watch what I know is my favorite thing in the world, and I hope my fiance didn't hear that, but to be able to watch that finally and have this kind of come back after we've seen so much uncertainty. We've seen some conferences kind of take the coward's way out and just announce 3 weeks prior to even having an FCS game that we're not going to be able to have a season. It was amazing. It was amazing, and I'm hoping, and I'm pretty confident there's going to be more of it, a lot coming soon.
How did you get Vern Funquist as your Twitter handle?
Story time.
It was funny because, yeah, right. So your coworker Ty Richardson, we had a night out in Birmingham at Media Days last year on Wednesday night, and I, for the first time, was able to partake in just the absolute glory that is karaoke night at whatever bar in Birmingham, Alabama at Media Days.
Heard all about these nights.
He introduced me. Oh man, it was a blast from what I remember, and he introduced me to White Claws, and that's not something I really am proud to admit. And I just kept thinking, I was like, I need to change my Twitter handle. I've done stand-up comedy for about 9 years here in Atlanta. And I think it was like Steve Marler Comedian. And I hated that because it just seems kind of weird and just begging for attention. I was like, what's a better way to beg for attention? How about a pun? So it was between Claw Feinbaum and then Vern Funquist. And I was like, I think Vern Funquist is probably the way to go. Because, I'm a big fan of that turtle laugh. I miss him every Saturday on the CBS game. And so it's a good way to pay respect and honor to, a guy that's now retired, and we miss and love very much in the SEC.
Well, it's up there with Faux Pelini, so well done. Those are my two favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we'll be listening to the SDS podcast next time out, Chris. Appreciate you pinch hitting. You hit a home run for Connor, but he might have struck out. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate it, Chris.
You got it. Chris Marler of the Saturday Down South podcast.
So Ty's part of the reason for the Vern Funquist Twitter handle.
Yeah, when I first got a hold of Chris this morning, I'd asked him to come on the show, and I didn't tell him what the station was. So he asked, what's the station? Where do they air? Tell him what it is. He's like, oh, I love Ty Richardson. And I'm thinking, that is really not the way to get in with us.
It's really not.
Nah. No, that was nice. I've heard about those karaoke nights, and they are legendary. Of course,
we three need to do a karaoke night.
We'll figure. Hey, we've got microphones right in front of us now. You guys have already sung on the show before. Don't do it again. 877-377-6963. Passing of John Thompson. Talk about that next.
It's that time of year, baseball season, and time to clean. Let Service Master Clean help you with your carpet, upholstery, and floor cleaning. Service Master Clean has been an industry leader for more than 60 years and back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or ServiceMasterPC.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
lot.
Big box retailers cannot compete with the experience and expert-friendly advice from the paint store in Van Buren. I have tested myself and then chosen just the right blend of Richards Paints to give you the best performance. Richards Paints is a company with the same philosophy as the paint store. Top-notch coverage, extreme washability. The bonus for you is the friendly expert advice you will get free with every gallon. Call 474-4505 or stop by 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Football fans, the 2020 season is on. Get ready with Hooten's Arkansas Football. 416 pages. Hooten's wrote the book on football. The Razorbacks, Red Wolves, all the state colleges, and an in-depth preview on every high school team. Read about them all in Hooten's Arkansas Football. Your school, your state, your source. Hooten's Arkansas Football. Look for new Razorback coach Sam Pittman on the cover on newsstands now. Hooten's Arkansas Football.
You name the speed and get all you need, only $50 a month. If your business has been experiencing some lag in its internet service, Pinnacle is here to help. With the most reliable fiber network, Pinnacle delivers a faster, seamless connection so you can focus on what matters most, your customers. Now for a limited time, choose any speed and pay only $50 a month for 3 months. Don't wait long. Call Pinnacle today or visit pinnacletelecom.com. Some restrictions apply, 36-month agreement required.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
High drive, way back into right field. You can kiss that one goodbye. That cleared the video board. Heston Kjerstad with a grand slam.
3 Hall of Fame college basketball coaches have died during this 2020 calendar year. The latest, John Thompson Jr., passed away this morning at the age of 78. Safe to say, SmackDown, that he's one of the few people on Earth that could have dwarfed you. Yeah. He was larger than life. I mean, truly larger than life. The personality, the voice, there was a gravitas to his presence. Anytime that you saw him on television or anytime that you saw a game that he was coaching. I got to see John Thompson coach a few games as a Pitt fan growing up. Remember watching him at the Civic Arena with Allen Iverson as a freshman. Of course, we all remember the ever-present towel over the shoulder. Those guys loved him. Those players loved him. He was known, of course, for getting the big man, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo. It's funny, too, that the other Hall of Fame player out of that university is one of the shorter players in the NBA Hall of Fame, in Iverson, who I think was like 5'10". I know he was listed at 6 feet, but he wasn't 6 feet. So, yeah, I mean, Thompson's one of these guys that is synonymous with the name of the program. It's the same as Lute Olson with Arizona. And, of course, Lute Olson passed away last week. A little different than when Eddie Sutton passed away. And Eddie was, revered by a couple of fan bases here at Arkansas and, of course, Oklahoma State. I don't know. I don't think a lot of us really knew much about Lute Olson's history at Iowa, but he had success at Iowa, too. John Thompson only coached at Georgetown. He never coached anywhere else. Brought them into the Big East, turned them into, really one of the iconic basketball programs of the 1980s, and then left a legacy there with his son, who got them back to the Final Four before leaving. I think that was 3 years ago. So, and you ever get a chance to listen to John Thompson as a color analyst on radio broadcasts? Because he did NCAA basketball tournament radio broadcasts on Westwood One with John Sadak as the play-by-play man. And, for one, Thompson had that voice. He had that he had a voice that was made for broadcasting. He didn't even need a microphone, and it would echo throughout the arena. But he was funny. He was informative. He was gracious. And I know John Sadak a little bit. He said that he was exactly the same way off the air as he was on the air. And I think a lot of times we remember John Thompson as looking angry or I think that he came across as intimidating sometimes, but more than anything, I think he was just an incredible basketball coach. His players revered him, and he seemed to treat most people that he came across with the utmost of respect. So
there's a great piece on Twitter this morning, and I think ESPN shared it on Twitter and different things like that. But Allen Iverson spoke about it when he was getting inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, and John Thompson was on stage, and he saved his life because I think, and I never even realized this, I knew Allen Iverson was a highly regarded high school talent, but the kid wanted to play football worse than he did basketball, which is shocking to hear because Allen Iverson's, he's synonymous with NBA basketball. He's synonymous with the shift from like the 80s basketball into the 90s era of basketball, just bringing the hip-hop and the kind of the cool factor into the NBA.
Yeah, you have to remember what happened with Iverson, too. He was involved in a brawl at a bowling alley.
Yeah,
I got him in trouble with the law. What eventually the sentence was overturned, but he was
highly recruited for both sides.
For both sides, that's right, and then ends up at a school in Georgetown that did not have Division I football. I don't think they still do. So,
well, and there was a tweet, and there was another piece I found on Iverson, but like he would go past the football field and just cry because, and he even said, which this is going to be music to Zach Arn's ears, but he wanted to go to Notre Dame. Iverson did, and play football and basketball. But the whole time, bringing it back to John Thompson, he was just talking about how much John Thompson saved his life because up until that point, after like you just mentioned with the brawl and different things like that, he lost every offer he had. And his mom went to John Thompson and basically begged him to let her son come play at Georgetown. He did, and the rest is history after that.
And the image that was portrayed by Georgetown basketball, and I still think maybe even the way that it's portrayed now, is different than I think what the understanding of the university. Georgetown is an upper crust university, the best of the best. And, to put it mildly, Georgetown in the 80s was almost an all-black team. And I don't think a lot of those kids came from the same social background, economic background as the entire student body. And I think that there was a little more extreme then than even on college campuses now. So, it showed Georgetown in a different light. Look, and I didn't like Georgetown as a basketball team growing up, but that was just because I was a Pitt fan. But if you loved basketball, if you enjoyed basketball in a physical nature,
yes,
and the game played the right way physically, Georgetown was that team. And really one of the great rivalries in college basketball, and it's different than Duke, North Carolina, which goes to the proximity of the schools, and the history goes back, over 100 years. The Syracuse-Georgetown thing was, I think, actually the best rivalry of the 80s when you look at it, and that came down to just the two coaches.
Yep.
Boeheim's still there. Obviously, Thompson passed away this morning, but the rivalry between those schools still sticks, even though They haven't played in the same conference now in a handful of years. Like, I always remember watching the Orange versus the Hoyas, and you knew that you were going to see two totally different styles, two completely different coaches. You're going to see a great basketball game, and it always was.
Remember watching it back in, March or April, when March Madness was going on, and CBS was doing the classic March Madness games, and they played Georgetown and North Carolina. And I remember I was watching that, and it was early. What would that have been? 81? Was that when that game, when Michael Jordan hit the shot to win the title?
That's 82.
82? But, I mean, the style of basketball that nearly every team would play back in the early 80s, it was fine, but it was a much slower pace and different things like that. And I remember watching that because I had never seen it until that point. Georgetown was just running up and down the floor, and Patrick Ewing was just blocked. But like you just mentioned, the physicality that Georgetown played with, particularly in that game, and like you just mentioned, whether it be with Syracuse or Pitt or anything like that back then, you saw that on full display, and that's a microcosm of the coach.
Hey, I mean, they played in the same ethos that the NBA played back then. I mean, they kind of had a little bit of that bad boys mentality. They felt overlooked. I think they felt like they were looked down upon across the nation, and they were kind of like, the same way that the Miami Hurricanes were the bad boys of college football in the 80s. That's a lot of the way that I remember viewing Georgetown basketball in the 80s too. And again, I don't think it was a matter of dirtiness. It was a matter of the way the game was played and how Thompson built that team, probably in his own likeness. A tough guy that played at Providence too. All right, that's the end of the first hour. Get with us at 877-377-6963. And we are brought to you by the Fenceman. The number's 479-782-3936. The Fenceman has a fence that can give your business both more security and more curb appeal. And specializing in custom installations for over 40 years. And if you call 479-782-3936, the Fenceman will come for a quick, no-obligations quote. The Fenceman is a division of Quantum Property Services. Second hour of halftime right after the break. Got some Major League Baseball stuff to get to.
Hi, folks. John Collins with Randall Ford of Fort Smith. If you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, you need to come see me today. We have access to hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. All makes and models available. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. We have special financing and warranties available on all vehicles, plus up to 90 days deferred payments on select models. All vehicles are cleaned and UV sanitized to protect our customers. Before you pay too much for your next vehicle, come see me personally and let me save you money.
Hello, would you like me to find workout classes near you?
There are no stores that sell glasses within 10 miles of your location.
There's enough artificial in the world. That's why Michelob Ultra is brewed with no artificial colors or flavors. With just 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0.0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Dee's Family Restaurant of Alma at 39 Column Lane across from the water park is now reopened and ready to serve you. We're open 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Breakfast is served all day and our full menu is available at 10:30 a.m. All you can eat steak on Thursday night, cooked order prime rib on Friday night, and now we deliver on Waiter. Curbside and to go is still available. Call ahead, 632-1014.
Evans Body Shop would like to thank our customers for nominating us for the Southwest Times Best of the Best in the River Valley. We are very proud that we are in the top 5, and it would be our honor if you would take a few minutes this week to vote for us to win Best of the Best in the Collision and Body Shop category. All you have to do is go to southwesttimes.com/best to cast your ballot. Also, check out our Facebook page for a link to the ballot and an exciting contest we have going on this week. Thank you all again for supporting us. Our customers and friends truly are the best of the best.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Our weather overnight looks cloudy. Showers and thunderstorms will be rolling through with our low in the lower 70s. Tomorrow we're expecting upper 80s with our heat index in the upper 90s, and it looks like a pretty good chance of rain. Showers and thunderstorms will continue through Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
On this Monday, and we'll have Curtis Wilkerson from Hog Sports joining us in about 30 minutes. Good to be with you today. Former Razorback Brian Anderson and the Marlins are in action right now against the New York Mets. They're in the third. New York leading 1-0. Good luck, Marlins. You're going up against Jacob deGrom, one of a number of aces that take the bump today in Major League Baseball. And Anderson has struck out in his only at-bat so far. He's batting .219 for the year. Logan Forsythe does not find himself in the Marlins starting lineup this afternoon. Orioles and Blue Jays are about to get underway as well on a short schedule Monday with just 11 games on the docket. Do have some stuff to get to involving baseball. Got some more football stuff to get to. ESPN announcing their college football broadcast crews. Got some how bad are the Pirates, and wrap it up with 3 up, 3 down. Your calls and texts as well. I was just about to go to one of our calls, but he dropped off. 877-377-6963 is the number to get on with us for calls and texts.
It was
today.
Bubba and Perry Gross, so Bubba, give us a holler back.
Unfortunately, that can't be Bubba like my Bubba. He would never
Not
hang
the
up on me,
Bubba.
right? No, not the one and only Bubba. He would never do that.
Maybe it was Bubba,
All right.
but he was just like he's scheming against the system. How is
What
Bubba? Have you
does-
talked to Bubba in a little bit?
He's working hard. I mean, he's got that baseball facility in Springdale and continues to bust his butt. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how much I'll have a chance to see him because he's coaching morning, noon, and night. All right, so we got this is the last day of August. We got Arkansas football coming up in less than a month. Hogs in Georgia. 10-game schedule. Not a lot's expected if you look at the national pundits. Pretty much they're looking at Arkansas. What's the over/under? About 1.5 for a lot of these experts on number of wins. I don't know what you're looking for in the first game, unless Georgia has a massive problem with injuries or COVID. That second game is definitely a winnable one, playing Mississippi State. But what about the idea of something to happen in that first game against Georgia to help you build confidence, to help the fan base, to help the team overall feel, a lot better going into the second game, going up against a Mississippi State team that certainly does not overmatch Arkansas, and definitely not like Georgia overmatches the Razorbacks. And I would like to see some semblance of rhythm offensively. Not for the entire ball game, but I would like to see Felipe Franks and his offensive line and his receivers find a little bit of rhythm early, because I think that even if you don't beat the Georgia Bulldogs, which are a top 5 team, if you show that you can at least consistently move the ball and maybe score inside the red zone once or twice, I think that will help with some confidence to build it for that second game. Because really, the thing that can really get this team I'm not going to say rolling downhill because I just don't know if there's the ability to roll downhill this year. A win over Mississippi State, the second week of the season, gives you a chance to start 2-2. If you have won half of the first 4 games and you're at 500, you've almost locked up a bowl spot, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So, and look, a lot can happen in that first game, which can drop you down into the dumps. The Hogs could get blown out by a national contender. Things could go really wrong in that first game. We haven't seen them play very well the first game of the year for a while now. So at least to see some offensive rhythm, I think, would be a nice thing, build some confidence to where I think you could move the ball on a real consistent basis and score points against that Mississippi State defense.
JT in Hot Springs text in, kind of going off what you just said about the Georgia game. He says just play well, be within 7 to 10 at halftime, and don't quit in the second half. And I think that's probably a big one, too, for a lot of fans. You're right. I mean, this team probably is no better than right now, just based off what we know, a 2, maybe a 3-win team. But how many times last year did this team quit after being down 17-0 in the first quarter or 28-0 or something like that going into the second half?
The funny thing, too, SmackDown, is like if you're a 2-win team this year, that means you won 2 SEC games. If you're a 2-win SEC team in a regular, normal season, that means you probably won 6.
Yeah.
5 or 6 games. So
Absolutely.
You're either bowl eligible or close to bowl eligible.
Which would be a drastic turnaround for what we're – because I feel like the way that we're kind of portraying Arkansas right now, when you look at the confidence levels, like, yeah, you know what, we maybe could sneak up on Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Missouri, maybe a Tennessee. Heck, we might even throw LSU into the mix now as like a very far-reaching pick. But if you're able to play I don't know what fans would have thought about Notre Dame. I don't think we would have beat them, but that's just me. But those other 3 non-conference games, that's a legitimately almost a 6-win team. If everything was normal, we were playing the 6-game schedule. You're right. Winning 2 SEC games this year essentially means you're a bowl team. And any other year,
winning a SEC game,
yes,
one
exactly,
might actually be enough. Hey, as of right now, there are 76 FBS teams planning to play, and every single bowl is still planning on playing. There's been no bowl games that are canceled. That's 74 teams for 76 spots. How much would it suck to be one of the 2 that don't go bowling? I mean, goodness gracious.
Well, I think
even if Arkansas were to go 0-10, you still may get an invite to like the Frisco Bowl or the I Bowl or something like that. I think
here's a participation trophy.
Exactly. I mean, it's like the ultimate, but it's almost like a reward for just finishing the season.
That too.
And usually, yeah. I've always looked at the idea of a bowl game for a team finishing 500 is just a little bit silly. Like you are rewarding mediocrity, right? Well, in this case, you're just rewarding getting to the finish line. And I think for most of us, getting to the finish line is good enough. That means we had a season and we're able to get through it. So, yeah, if you make it through the football season, it's good enough to go bowling because then you made some sort of an accomplishment of playing football during the coronavirus pandemic.
The only thing that scares me a little bit, and we could talk about wins and different things like that, but the confidence level or the confidence thing for me, we got some Pittman audio we'll play before we get out of this break. What happens when this team experiences its first loss or a loss that probably shouldn't have happened? If you get blown up by 40 or 50 like we have in times past, what happens then? And before we get out, I want to make sure we play this. I believe this came from Paul Feinbaum, but Sam Pittman being interviewed, talking about instilling confidence in his players.
Well, I think you have to find good. We're trying to find good reps, good going to class. We're trying to find anything that can build confidence. And I ask our coaches to be the loudest they possibly are at practices when we do something good. And then when we do something wrong, then we need to teach it, we need to correct it. But if we see something good, and it could be something as simple, which is a big deal, as transition on and off the field, because that's how we're getting our conditioning for that practice. And, by the way we practice. So we're trying to build confidence on seeing something good. We're not talking about building confidence because it doesn't work that way. You can't just tell a guy how good he is. He has to see on tape that he's doing things better. And when he's able to see it along with us, I think that builds confidence. And so we've certainly been trying to do that, and we've been talking a lot about mental toughness. I think you have to be mentally tough before you can be physically tough, and we're progressing rapidly in that area as well.
You know, when I listen to Coach Pittman's comments there, I agree with him in some aspect here that I'm not quite sure if you really can build confidence in practice. You know, I mean, if you're looking on film and you're practicing against one of your own teammates, it's got to be a lot different than if you see it happen in a game in and of itself and you're watching film of you doing something in a game that you had trouble doing previously. And now you've grown as a player and you've seen it on film and the confidence grows. The confidence will come from some good stuff happening in the Georgia game. It's not going to come during practice. Not for a team that hasn't played for their head coach yet, not for a team that, you know, is coming off of consecutive winless seasons in the SEC. The confidence doesn't come from practice for this team right now. It'll come from something that happens in that Georgia game, and for me, it's going to be some offensive rhythm. It's going to be some rhythm. Hopefully we have a chance to see that rhythm up close. 877-377-6963, the number to get with us. ESPN has announced their college football broadcast cruise. Joe Tess is back. We'll get you that. And how bad are the Pirates today? Stay tuned. Halftime back after the break.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
You know, at some point, we got to quit always dragging in last year or the last 2 years into the reasoning of why this year can't have some independence of its own and some success on its own. Well, at some point, the last 2 years, it has to quit mattering, and you got to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about here this morning.
Don't miss The Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Do you need
Pro Furniture August Back to School Sale? We are giving away this USA-made custom leather sectional on August 31st at 4:30 p.m. Must come in to register. In August, discounts on all furniture and mattresses to our finance and cash customers.
You can't discount and give away furniture.
I'll do what I want to do.
I still run this show. I just let her think she does. It was my idea in the first place.
What'd you say?
Nothing, honey. Frank Bro Furniture. Best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
Here to help. With fully stocked warehouses and high volume capacity, they utilize the newest technology to keep your business moving in the right direction with quick 48 to 72 hour turnarounds. At General Pallets and Crates, they take pride in manufacturing superior shipping and packaging products. So see why more businesses are working with the region's most trusted pallet, crate, and stake company. General Pallets and Crates, serving Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, and Kansas.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
We've got some good news for OG&E customers in Arkansas.
If your house was built in 2010 or earlier, OG&E's weatherization program provides energy efficiency upgrades of up to $3,000 at no additional cost. It's true. OG&E makes your home more efficient for extra comfort and lower bills. With everything from attic insulation, weather stripping, caulking around doors and windows, even LED bulbs, all at no additional cost. Visit OGE.com/weatherization to see if you qualify.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
1-2 pitch. Open swings. Hard shot. Through the right side. Base hit. Washington to third. He gets the green light. And the throw. Not in time. Hogs win. The Razorbacks finish the sweep of Missouri. And that's how you do a Sunday at Baum Stadium.
Earlier this morning, ESPN released the college football broadcast cruise. Just another sign that we will be enjoying more than just the one college football game that occurred over the weekend, UCA and Austin Peay.
It's a heck of a game this weekend.
Well, at least the last few minutes were.
Yeah.
That's for certain. That's not as many points as UCA is used to scoring. So I have a feeling that I don't know if it's going to be the most successful year for UCA. But then again, hey, just again playing 9 games the way they're going to try, they get through it, they'll be just fine. So Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Maria Taylor on the ABC Saturday night. No surprise there. Fowler and Herbstreit. I didn't realize they've been working together for 25 years. I did not realize the two of them had been paired together for that long. 7th year that they've got the top ABC Saturday night broadcast. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Todd McShay on Saturday nights. I love McDonough. He's done everything, literally everything in sports. World Series, it's called Super Bowls. 3rd year now doing ESPN Saturday nights, and he also had the call of my most heartbreaking moment as a sports fan, the Francisco Cabrera 1992 National League Championship Series clinching single off of the Pirates, called by Sean McDonough on CBS.
Was McDonough the same guy during the Michigan State game where his voice started cracking when they fumbled the punt?
Yeah, that's another thing he's known for is his voice will crack every once in a while, but not in a bad way.
No. I mean, heck, all our voices crack, but it's just funny. And it was funny.
Joe Tess back for college football. Right where he belongs after a couple years of Monday Night Football.
Love Joe Tess. Oh, my God. Can't talk. Love Joe Tessitore. Absolutely fantastic.
Put him together with Greg McElroy and Holly Rowe.
That's a good lineup right there. That's a good crew. Greg McElroy's I don't know if you could consider him underrated, but Greg McElroy's really darn good for what he does, and Holly Rowe is just a consummate pro at everything she does. And then you throw Joe Tessitore in there, and Tessitore's probably he might be my favorite broadcaster. He just the emphasis that he brings, almost kind of like the what's Ty's favorite broadcaster, the Fox guy?
Gus Johnson.
Yeah. Kind of along those same lines. They're both very emotional with kind of how they deliver their stuff.
But they're a perfect college sports.
Yes.
College sports.
Absolutely.
Not major league. And Joe Tess just did not sound right on Monday Night Football. His sound is made for college football.
Well, I think a lot of Razorback fans will get like the goosebumps. That's what I did. The 2016 when he was calling the Arkansas Ole Miss game, and he said you can feel Razorback Stadium shaking beneath their feet right now. It's those little things right there that Joe Tess is known for.
And then our friend Tom Hart is back with his crew of Jordan Rogers and Cole Kubelik on the SEC Network lead telecast. They do a great job together. I meant to bring this up to you. I don't think you're aware of this. You know, we have Bill King on every Wednesday. Ty and I had asked him once about his least favorite media member in college football, and he despises Chris Fowler.
Really?
Called him a punk on our show. Like, I wouldn't say this if he didn't put it down on our airwaves a year ago. No. It's Bill King.
Bill King. Okay, Bill King. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we have Bill every Wednesday from Nashville Sports Radio. He's called Fowler a punk.
Wow.
So, we'll have to get him to tell the story at some point on why he feels that way. All right, got a few minutes left in this segment. We do have Curtis Wilkerson in the next segment, so let's get to how bad are the Pirates today, SmackDown?
Oh, how bad are they today? I wasn't mentally prepared for that.
You should always be mentally
I
prepared.
I should be always prepared.
Worse? How could they get any worse?
How bad are they today?
Well, they beat the Brewers 5-1 yesterday.
Oh,
and
good.
They've won 3 of their last 5, so I'm a little nervous
good.
about it. But.
Oh, there's a but?
Here's a good one for you.
Okay.
As of today, every single team in the National League is within 2.5 games of a playoff spot. There's 8 playoff spots per league. Every single team in the National League is within 2.5 games of a playoff spot, except the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No, come on.
10-21, 2 games behind the Angels for the worst record in baseball. So there you go. Even though they've won 3 of 5, they still are the only team in the National League with no hope at all of making the playoffs.
Hang on. How far back are they from the playoffs right now?
I think they are 5 games out from the closest spot. Don't expect this to happen in the next month. There's a month left in the season.
You've been preaching this team's not going to make it, or they're going to be the worst team in baseball, the worst winning percentage, different things like that. They've won 3 out of 5. They're not playing horribly right now. They did get a no-hitter get pitched to get them, but I'm just saying.
SmackDown, if the Pirates make the playoffs, I will shave every hair on my body. Every last hair.
120.
Eyebrows.
It's 1:20 p.m.
Eyebrows, leg hair.
August
ankles,
31st.
Toe hair, all of that stuff.
Does wild card count?
That's playoffs.
Okay. My God.
Yes.
Oh.
I will do this for you. All right? Pirates make the playoffs. I go totally bald everywhere. Just for fun. That's how sure I am of this.
Oh, man, I hope they make the playoffs. Oh, that would be the best day of my life. Oh my God, that'd be incredible.
Few other things. The Dodgers recorded the franchise's 11,000th regular season win. That's a lot of games. And only 2 other teams have ever won more regular season games than the Dodgers. You want to take a crack at who they are?
The 2 teams that have won 11. Is it obvious?
Probably not.
I feel like
they would all be national. It's the Giants and the Cubs.
Really?
Giants and Cubs, right?
I figured the Yankees would have been in there. Huh?
No, well, the Yankees, the Cubs were a franchise in the 1880s. The Yankees didn't become a franchise until 1901, 03.
Interesting.
Okay. And they were Baltimore then. Anyway, so yeah. And the Dodgers set a record for home runs hit in a month. By one National League team. 3 homers yesterday, 57 in the month of August. That's an all-time league record. But last year, the Yankees hit 74 homers in August, which is the major league record. It's no surprise the way baseball is played these days. The Dodgers lead baseball in both wins, 25, and homers, 65.
You've got 2 people on. Chad and Paris and JT in Hot Springs are just praying to the good Lord above that this can happen. JT says from Phil's lips.
Turned our entire listenership into huge Pirates fans.
Oh, it's from Phil's lips to God's ears. Please make this happen. Chad and Paris says we're going to hold you to this now.
Well, I mean, and I still owe Ty from losing our college football picks last season. I'm supposed to eat, what was it, Reaper Squeezins? I think that was Brett and Spyro had promoted some sort
Reaper
of sauce to us. Yeah, like Carolina Reaper.
See, anything
the hottest pepper out there. It's a sauce made out of those that I'm supposed to eat. I've gotten away with not doing it up until now. I can only blame the pandemic to a certain point.
See,
I've got to follow through on this. So what if I would eat the hot sauce while shaving all the hair off my body because the Pirates made the playoffs?
2-for-1 deal. That's a fair trade-off, I think.
That would be called a radio stunt, my friend.
See, any food now, because I'm scarred mentally for life, any of those like weird food names, because when you say Reaper Squeezins, all these thoughts went through my head of what a Reaper Squeezin could be because I didn't know what a Rocky Mountain oyster was.
It's just a kind of a pepper. Don't worry.
I don't believe
it's not a part of any animal that you don't want to eat. It's just a pepper that you probably don't want to eat too. because you will sweat probably about 10 pounds.
I have a little bottle of it's Reaper like dust and just a toothpick of it on the tip of your tongue. I had to stick my tongue under the faucet. It was that bad.
No kidding?
Yeah.
See, I went to was it Taco Bell that did the Reaper sauce?
That sounds familiar.
I think it was them. And it wasn't like, it was hot, but it wasn't like.
Yeah, this stuff's brutal.
Couple other baseball things I wanted to get to. A lot of aces are pitching today. I already got Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets. Mets hosting the Marlins. Shane Bieber, the best pitcher in baseball right now for Cleveland, takes on Kyle Keller of the Royals. Lucas Giolito threw that no-hitter against the Pirates last week. Giolito on the mound against the Twins, who've dropped 5 straight. White Sox start a 9-game road trip tied for first with Cleveland. Giolito's last 2 starts, get this, he's retired 48 of 53 batters with 16 scoreless innings, 26 strikeouts. That's right, he has struck out almost half of the batters he's faced in the last 2 starts. Braves and Red Sox, Max Fried pitching for Atlanta. Braves really need a pitcher, losing out on Clevenger to San Diego here at the deadline. Cardinals starting an 8-game road trip in Cincy today. Dakota Hudson pitching. And that's what's going on around baseball. Hey, by the way, congratulations, Adam Wainwright. Complete game win on his 39th birthday. These are 2 things that don't go very often, certain together in these times. All right, that's what's going on around baseball. We'll talk Arkansas Razorback football with Curtis Wilkerson, who reports for Hog Sports. And he joins us right after the break. Stay tuned.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
Wheels RV on Highway 412, 5 miles west of Springdale, has all the top brands of travel trailers and fifth wheels. New owners Lee J. Ferris and Chris Owens are growing inventory and selection every day. Wheels RV has certified factory-trained technicians to keep you on the road and a new paint and collision center when you need it. All the top brands with a lifetime warranty, top dollar for your trade, and the best deals on new RVs. Only at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale.
Business owners, if your carpets and floors show the effects of too much foot traffic, call the professionals at your local Service Master Clean. Whether it's janitorial cleaning or specialty cleaning to eliminate dirt and grime from carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors, no job is too big or too small. Service Master Clean has been an industry leader for more than 60 years. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or ServiceMasterPC.com.
Doe's Eat Place is now open to serve you the award-winning steaks you've been missing, along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Doe's Eat Place welcomes their loyal diners back and new diners to experience the best steaks, atmosphere, and service in the River Valley. The patio is also open for your dining pleasure. Just call for reservations. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
We're now living in uncharted waters with the spread of COVID-19. With the partial closing of a lot of businesses, sadly, some will soon try and turn your possessions into their possessions. Guardtronic has been providing security for homes and businesses for over 60 years. Whether you need a camera system to keep an eye on things or a complete home security system, call Guardtronic 479-785-2323 or go online to guardtronic.com. We have so many worries these days, safety should not be one of them. License E50.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Matt Jones rolling out of the bootleg. Hey, he's at midfield. He's at the 40. He's at the 30 of Texas. The 20, the 10. Matt Jones is out of bounds at the half-yard line. Oh, my. What an incredible play call. And Jones, racing downfield, was finally pushed out of bounds after a 60-yard run.
Back on halftime. Got about 30 minutes left on the show here. We wrap it up next segment with 3 up, 3 down. We wanted to bring a new guest onto the show today, Curtis Wilkerson, who is covering Arkansas sports at hogsports.com. Covers basketball, football, baseball, everything else Razorback. It's his debut appearance on halftime. Hi, Curtis. How you doing today? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys having me on. I love the show. Doing really well. Looks like the weather's clearing up, so we might get a chance to do some practice today.
Good. We want to make sure that they get out there as often as they possibly can. Takeaways from the scrimmage on Friday. I know Coach Pittman had them out there quite a while, a very lengthy scrimmage. What did you take away from everything you were able to pick up on?
Yeah, so 120 plays, that is a lengthy first scrimmage. You know, Sam Pittman talked a little bit about how he wasn't quite sure if the guys were ready for that type of scrimmage and that type of physicality. Wonders a little bit about the conditioning levels, which, you know, for a team that's trying to go a little bit more up-tempo maybe than years past, you have some depth concerns at certain positions. So being in great shape is important, and it's early in camp, so plenty of time to figure that out. But overall, it sounds like he came away pleased, and there are a lot of positive takeaways, especially when you talk about the offensive side of the football. I mean, Felipe Frank sounds like he threw 4 touchdown passes. That's always encouraging, something that you definitely like to hear given the quarterback play the last couple of years. KJ Jefferson sounds like he had a solid day as well, particularly with his legs. So it makes you wonder, you know, about the ability for Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles, maybe to put in a package or some plays to use KJ Jefferson's running ability. You know, and then outside of that, you know, Hudson Henry, we've been wondering about that tight end position, which is a little bit thin. We know there's a lot of potential there, a couple touchdown catches for him. So definitely sounds like some good things offensively.
Speaking of tight ends, we saw that Lane Toll was moved back to tight end. So it's a little difficult to keep track on where the incoming freshman is playing, because he came in as a D lineman, moves to tight end, then back to D line, now back to tight end. And I guess that's more of a tell of the depth at tight end than anything that Blaine is doing wrong. Would that be accurate?
Sure, yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, take a look at that tight end. You've got Hudson Henry. You have a senior with some experience, but still a former walk-on, and Blake Kern, Colin Sutherland, a late addition to the recruiting class last season. And there's right. I mean, there's not a lot of depth there. So when you think about a guy like Blaine Toll, it also speaks to his just overall athleticism. He's put together well physically in high school. Obviously, playing in a smaller classification at Hazen, but he played on both sides of the ball. They obviously didn't want to take him off of the field, so he's a guy who's familiar to a degree with catching passes and playing on the offensive side of the ball, and then doing his thing defensively on the defensive line. So I think they're impressed with his athleticism, and really he's been humbled and been a team first guy in terms of, hey, coach, wherever you need me, put me there, and that's been a lot of back and forth for him. But so far he's taken it all in stride. It sounds like he's doing well.
Speaking to Curtis Wilkerson here on Halftime, Curtis, when you look at the different positions, and aside from quarterback, and I'll even throw running back in there because I feel like Razorback fans and media pundits like ourselves know what we're getting with Felipe Franks and Rakeem Boyd. We know what they bring to the table. Where are the positions that you think there's a chance for an improvement this coming season?
Yeah, the one that stands out to me right off the top there is defensive line. All through the off season, through the walkthroughs, through the strength and conditioning program, and now that we're 2 weeks into practice, seems like every time we get some availability, whether it's Barry Odom or Sam Pittman or any of the guys on the team, they've really been high on that defensive line. And that's interesting. You think about losing both starters at defensive tackle last year. You wonder what's the depth going to look like there? How are they going to be? But, you think about a guy like junior college transfer Julius Coates, who has been drawing rave reviews for his ability to just be able to get to the quarterback. Sam Pittman said on Friday after the scrimmage, he's just really hard to block. And he definitely looks the part. I don't know if you guys have been able to see some of the photos of this guy, but he looks like an SEC defensive end. You got Dorian Giroux healthy, seems like he's full go and primed for a big season. Xavier Kelly, the Clemson transfer, just another big body in the middle. So they put on a lot of size. Sounds like they've got some decent athleticism. That might be one of the more improved groups on the team, which is huge because it's all about the trenches in the SEC. So if they can hold their own there, it's going to go a long way towards improving that defense.
I think when you look at it, too, when you've seen different players talk, you've seen the coaches kind of share what they're seeing in practice. And I feel like you can only take this with a grain of salt. But the confidence level of this team, particularly during practices and kind of how the players have related to Sam Pittman and what kind of Sam Pittman has brought to the table for these players, the confidence level for Arkansas fans right now and these players seems to be relatively high right now.
Yeah, it really does. And I understand what you're saying about taking it with a grain of salt. This is that time of year where every team is feeling pretty good about the possibilities. Practicing against yourself, and for the most part, you're going to hear good things that come out of that. But what Sam Pittman has done in a short time in terms of just kind of breathing some life back into the program, in terms of confidence. The first part to being a good team and kind of getting back on track and winning some games is believing in yourself and your ability to do it. And Pittman, he was quoted something along the lines of, "Hey, we're not talking about confidence and things like that. We're trying to show them." So they're doing a good job, I think, of being positive and reinforcing the good things that they're seeing in practice. And then, the thing that Pittman has really been big about so far is empowering his players to be leaders for themselves and being a player-led team. And he sets the tone for that with his just kind of straightforward, honest, no BS kind of approach to things. And it's been refreshing to the team and to the players, and they're kind of feeding off of that energy. So far, so good from that standpoint.
And when you look at the schedule, kind of how it plays out, and we've talked extensively about the schedule, whether Arkansas got screwed or different things like that. I'm not asking you about that, but when you look at it, I feel like Razorback fans feel like us as well. You got a chance at Ole Miss. You got a chance with Mississippi State. You got a chance with Missouri. I think those are the three games that you look at. It was like those are realistic opportunities to get W's. Aside from those three, is there another team on the schedule that you think, yeah, Arkansas matches up pretty well against these guys to maybe pull off a quote-unquote upset this year?
Yeah, we got together, the guys at Hog Sports, and we kind of did a little roundtable discussion to do our predictions and things like that for the season. So, a game that we're all very interested in is Tennessee. You take a look at Tennessee, and they're definitely a program that's on the rise. They finished last season on a pretty strong winning streak. Now, they weren't necessarily taking down the juggernauts of the SEC, and they're recruiting really well, but it might be another year or two before they're fully back. So I could see Arkansas, having a chance to take down Tennessee. The Texas A&M game, it seems like every year Arkansas is knocking on the door. Could this be the time that they finally break through and get a victory there? And, I still think that they have an unbelievable amount of talent with the way they recruit and the pedigree, but LSU sure has lost a lot. And you wonder, when we get to that point in the season, what the attrition is going to be like for them. I mean, I think they've lost 16, maybe 17 starters. Obviously, you hear the news about Jamar Chase yesterday. They've got a lot of rebuilding to do, and honestly, it's probably reloading, but in terms of experience and depth and things like that, you never know where they're going to be at that point in the season.
Curtis Wilkerson joining us for another couple minutes here. I know you cover anything going on in athletics at Arkansas, but you specialize in basketball and basketball recruiting. And I think that actually might be the most entertaining beat of any of the beats at Arkansas because of the way Eric Musselman recruits through social media, and that you're going to get players coming in from every avenue that you can have incoming players, JUCO transfers, grad transfers, incoming freshmen. I'm not sure if there's a better beat. You're kind of lucky.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, it's really an incredible opportunity, and you're 100% right. The things that Eric Musselman and his staff do from a recruiting standpoint, just from social media, it's incredible. You really enjoy the videos that they put out and the different clips and things of that nature. When they had the signing class that came through over the course of the spring and summer, and the whole deal with answering the phone with the big oversized shoes and things like that, that's creative, and people enjoy that. Being able to pose for the old the pictures of the old NBA scenes and things like that. It's just different, and it's innovative, and really, the ability for Musselman and his staff to be creative and kind of stay a step ahead in the social media game, which is obviously a very big deal, especially for the recruits and things like that, at their age. It's really been impressive. So, coming here and in his first year, bringing a top 10 recruiting class from the high school ranks, bringing the types of transfers that he has, it's a good time to be an Arkansas Razorback basketball reporter, I can tell you that.
Curtis, tell us a little about you. Are you new to the area? I think I'm going to guess, since your Twitter page said you were living in St. Louis, that's where you're from. So tell us about Curtis Wilkerson.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm a native Arkansan, so I grew up over on the northeast corner of the state in Woodruff County in McCrory, so a real small town over there. I went to high school. Then I went to college in St. Louis, so went to Lindenwood University up there. Actually stayed in the St. Louis area for about 15 years, so I've got family and stuff up there. Looking for some different opportunities, and obviously I've been a lifelong follower of the Razorbacks and got lucky enough to get this opportunity. So here I am. I saw that you're obviously familiar with Northwest Arkansas, but kind of making it home now, and we're doing the same thing. So kind of getting settled in and enjoying everything so far. It's been great.
All right. Well, we'll definitely try to have you on again, Curtis. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Curtis.
Hey, definitely appreciate you guys anytime.
And one of my favorite reserve players in the early 90s for the Pittsburgh Pirates also was Curtis Wilkerson. Different guy, though. SmackDown.
Yes, sir.
Tell them where they can enter to win some free Hardee's.
Oh, that's at hitthatline.com. It's the Hardee's Lunch Bunch. We gave away two great lunch bunches for a great group of office workers, and we're doing it again this Thursday. Head to hitthatline.com, click on the Hardee's Lunch Bunch button. You can enter once per day, and we'll announce a winner this coming Thursday, where you have the opportunity to take care of lunch for you and your office bunch. That's at hitthatline.com. It's courtesy of our friends over at Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, and at hitthatline.com. So head to hitthatline.com right now and get registered for the Hardee's Lunch Bunch.
Cherry on the top to wrap up the show after the break, and it's 3 up, 3 down. Right back.
hallelujah. Sports are back and so is fantasy football. Stay saucy and give your draft party what they really want. Wings! Fantasy football bundles are awaiting your arrival. Dine-in or takeout available. Prices vary. Did we forget to mention basketball? Bubble bundles starting at only $29.99. Hey, get to Buffalo Wild Wings, cure your cravings, and watch the magic happen on our wall-to-wall TVs. Don't wait up. They know where to find you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Some buffalo wings.
Valid at participating locations: Fort Smith, Little Rock, Conway, Jonesboro, and Sherwood.
Hey, this is David Owen with Ouachita Farms. We grow hemp in Central Arkansas and process it into full-spectrum CBD products. Ouachita Farms products are affordably priced and available online or conveniently located at nearly 200 stores across the state. All Ouachita Farms CBD products are tested at C-Pill Labs in Little Rock to ensure that you will always get what you expect. Find us online today and use this code at checkout.
Ouachita Farms! Go to WouachitaFarms.com and use code WPS15 at checkout of your purchase.
Evans Body Shop would like to thank our customers for nominating us for the Southwest Times Best of the Best in the River Valley. We are very proud that we are in the top 5, and it would be our honor if you would take a few minutes this week to vote for us to win Best of the Best in the Collision and Body Shop category. All you have to do is go to southwesttimes.com/best to cast your ballot. Also, check out our Facebook page for a link to the ballot and an exciting contest we have going on this week. Thank you all again for supporting us. Our customers and friends truly are the best of the best.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren. Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Football fans, the 2020 season is on. Get ready with Hooten's Arkansas Football. 416 pages. Hooten's wrote the book on football. The Razorbacks, Red Wolves, all the state colleges, and an in-depth preview on every high school team. Read about them all in Hooten's Arkansas Football. Your school, your state, your source. Hooten's Arkansas Football. Look for new Razorback coach Sam Pittman on the cover on newsstands now. Hooten's Arkansas Football.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Hey, I tell you what, you can take a good look at a butcher's ass by sticking your head up there, but wouldn't you rather take his word for it?
Don't do it.
That guy in a little coat. That guy in a little coat.
Don't.
That guy in a little coat. That guy in a little coat. Richard, what's happening?
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
Well, we have a minor trade in Major League Baseball, legitimately a minor trade. Oakland acquiring left-hand pitcher Mike Minor from the Texas Rangers for a couple of players to be named later. That would be the smaller of the two deals made today as Mike Clevenger heading to the San Diego Padres that are they've remade themselves into a contender already, but with the Dodgers looking like a juggernaut, the other team that they've got to worry about now is right behind them in the standings in the NL West, and it's the San Diego Padres. All right, plenty to get to here in the final segment, but first, Bubba from Prairie Grove has dialed us back up. He dropped us about 40 minutes ago. Hey, Bubba, thanks for calling back up. What's up?
Gentlemen, just want to call and give condolences to the John Thompson family on the passing of John Thompson Sr. I can remember being 10 or 12 years old and being totally awestruck by John Thompson and his Georgetown Hoya teams. I was the only kid on my junior pro basketball team that wore the T-shirt underneath the jersey, just like Patrick Ewing, just like Dikembe Mutombo, just like Alonzo Mourning. I was a post player, and I wanted to those guys. I wanted to be like those. John Thompson was the very best at generating these unstoppable, dominating big men. And I heard you're reminiscing about the battles that they used to have with Syracuse. Don't forget the battles that they used to have between Patrick Ewing and Chris Redmond, Lou Carnesecca, St. John's. Those battles, weak at heart. You better be a grown A man to get in those games between St. John's and Georgetown. That's real man basketball right there. And passing of a legend today, it's a day to be marked down in history. And you guys are doing an outstanding job of recalling to mind a great era of Big East basketball.
Bubba, I think he's a top 5 basketball coach of all time. Don't you think?
Oh. It's definitely top 10. Maybe Mount Rushmore of coaches. He's going to battle it out for somebody for that top 5 spot, but he's no doubt solid. Anywhere from 6 to 10 seed. I think of Jerry Tarkanian in the towel, chewing on that towel. I think of John Thompson that has that towel that looked like it was as tall as I was, wrapped around him, slung over one shoulder, prowling those sidelines. There's a reason why he seemed intimidating. 6 foot 8 inch, 290-pound black man looking at you that way. It scared me, and I'm watching at home on TV. But when he spoke, you knew the first thing, he loved each and every single one of his players to their very bones. He cared for his players. He was a father to so many of them. And if he were alive today, I would have no problem at all sending my son to go play for that legend. And, I'm praying for the Thompson family today at the loss of their patriarch. And, basketball will never be the same. But we go on, and we live every day the best we can. And I'll tell you this thing, John Thompson maximized his talent. Few people, you come across people that are put on this earth to do something, whether it be a school teacher, whether it be skilled trade, whatever it is. John Thompson was built by the Almighty to patrol the sidelines and build young men into outstanding basketball players, and he did that. So,
Bubba, appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bubba.
Man, hey, thanks for taking it, guys. You guys do an outstanding job. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Appreciate that. Another thing about John Thompson, I don't think I mentioned, I remember him being one of the coaches that was at the forefront of being against Proposition 48, which was, that was based upon SAT scores, which, Thompson was one of the first to point out the racial bias on those SAT scores. And you had kids that were not allowed to play college basketball because the SAT scores were too low. And it really didn't say anything about their intelligence or about how they worked in school. And I remember John Thompson being one of the guys that led that charge.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into 3 Up, 3 Down here. And 3 Up, 3 Down is brought to you by Ritter Business Communications. Call 888-336-4249. To learn more, they will help your business succeed. Ritter Communications provides advanced business services using the fastest, most reliable technology on the market. Talking 100% fiber network delivering up to 10 gigabits per second, so you will stay connected. Plus, they have the best customer care team in the industry. They know you by name. They're accessible 24/7. They'll check in on you proactively, and they're locally based right here in Arkansas, where Ritter was founded over a century ago. It's Ritter Communications. Go to ritterbusiness.com or call 888-336-4249. First up, Vin Scully is getting on social media. This is like the best thing to happen on social media for the entire year. And think about this, where he's going to have a Twitter page. He's going to have an Instagram page and Facebook. So the Insta and the Twitter is at the Vin Scully, and it's just his name, Vin Scully, on Facebook. Like, he is the most positive person ever. So he does not fit the ethos of Twitter. But I think he'll bring a lot of fun and joy and happiness to a place that can be filled with vitriol and hate. So thank goodness Vin Scully is getting on social media. My first down, SmackDown, I didn't break any bones while I was moving everything over the weekend, and that's just another prediction that I swung and missed on.
First up for me this time, and I'll be quick with mine. Finally got to meet my new niece over the weekend, and she is absolutely the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in the whole entire world. First down for me, look, one thing we hadn't even talked about, and it's one because you two are movie fans, but losing Chadwick Boseman this weekend, that was a shocker.
Man, yeah. And it came out from nowhere.
Yeah, who knew he was
I don't
even
think
sick.
none of us knew about the illness.
Because I saw a tweet, and I'm sure you guys saw it too, and I don't remember who shared it, but like it wasn't bullying per se, but just kind of like the trolling that he got.
People were like, why is he losing weight?
Exactly, like why is he losing weight and different things like that, and turns out he's been having a 4-year battle with cancer, so damn it to hell with cancer, but rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. That was a tough one to swallow this weekend, and then John Thompson on top of that, so that was a down for me.
All right, I got a second up, and it is the television series Cobra Kai, which I watched 9 of the first 10 episodes in the first season yesterday. I will be watching the finale tonight. A friend of mine that I was texting with last night said this perfectly. This was the show that I did not know that I needed. Cobra Kai is, I think, one of the best television shows I've ever watched.
Is it better than
It's
Tiger
not
King?
family friendly. It's not family friendly like the Karate Kid movies were, but it preserves the characters and the ethos behind it. Johnny Lawrence, the William Zabka character, he's turning into one of the greatest all-time characters. I'm completely hooked on Cobra Kai. And, yes, it's better than Tiger King.
Okay.
Second down is the idea of bowl eligibility. There is no bowl eligibility this year. Everybody's going to be bowl eligible just by making it through the football season. So there you go.
I'm going to tease this.
Do you have any more?
I'll tease this for tomorrow because me and you both kind of thought this was funny. I want to get Matty T's reaction on this, too. It's an up for me because there's a new study that iPhone owners perform better than Android owners on dating apps.
What about cat owners versus dog owners?
We'll save that for another day, but I want to get into that tomorrow. That'll be fun. Second down for me, what the heck are the Jacksonville Jaguars doing releasing Leonard Fournette?
Has there been more stories written about quote-unquote disgruntled players than anybody else from the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's like the most disgruntled-filled team.
We got a lot to get into tomorrow.
Yeah, third up, I'm going to name my cat Lenny Kekua to tweak all you Notre Dame fans out there. Here in
Zach
office.
Arns.
Third down, show's over, so that's all we got. For Matty T and SmackDown, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Hi, folks. John Collins with Randall.